from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I am Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, co-hosting this hour with the wonderful Jade Warshaw in my co-host chair right there. And we are taking your calls. It's a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. And again, talking about your life and your money, so give us a call. So first up this hour, we have Laura in Toronto, Canada. Hey, Laura, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be able to talk to you guys today. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for calling. How can we help?
So I've been listening to your show daily for the last few months, and I read Total Money Makeover, and now I need some advice. So we've always been fairly responsible and frugal with our money, but since listening to you guys recently, I've wanted to start doing more. So I've been selling off a lot of things that we don't need or use anymore, kind of like how everybody suggests to sell everything until the kids think they're next. Mm-hmm. My 3-year-old and my 5-year-old are now starting to notice and have started asking more questions about money and what I'm saving for and where it's going. So my question is, do you have any advice on how to talk to kids about money and at what age? And is there a way to teach them to respect it without causing any kind of anxiety? I know my girls are still little, but I don't want to burden them with adult things like debt and mortgages, but I want to try and start them off right.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about like government shutdown and stuff with our 5-year-old.
Exactly,
We're fine.
right?
Yeah. No, I think it's a great question, Laura, and I think even your intentionality behind it early on is huge. And then I would say, too, I give you props that your kids are picking up on what you're doing. Because we always say, if you're a parent, you know more is caught than taught. Like your kids are watching so much of what the choices you're making in life and even your emotions around it, right? They pick up so much. And so the fact that they're seeing change in you, Laura, I think is amazing because that means you're changing, right? You're doing something different when it comes to your money and they're seeing that. So props to you in that regard. But yeah, I mean, I would keep it very age appropriate. I think we do find families that are in a season of sacrifice to make a financial goal like getting out of debt or having money saved, to bring the kids along in that and make it a family themed idea, right? That like as a family, we are choosing to do this and it's not just mom and dad in isolation doing it. And good. So talking to them, and I think again, age appropriately and just saying, mom and dad, we don't want money to be a stress point in our life. So for us, whether it's you're getting out of debt, so we actually, when mom and dad make money from work, we get to keep it and decide what we want to do with it instead of sending it. You can even talk to them about payments and like what that looks like, what debt is. And so, it's again, very age appropriate, but starting those conversations, I think is key.
Yeah, Laura,
sorry, go ahead, Jade.
I was going to say, my kids, they see this show and they see us talking about money and debt all day. And my son has started asking, like, what is debt? And so we've talked to him about it. I mean, we've explained that when you borrow money, you have to give it back. And here's what that looks like. And even as simple as sometimes I'll go, if I buy something and he just thinks, you can go to Target and pick whatever you want off the shelf. And I'm like, no, when mama leaves every day, I'm going to earn money. And then when we earn that money, we get to decide how to spend it. So there's part of it that just introducing them to the idea that you go and you work, and then this is what you get for your time, and it's not unlimited, right? And I think that's been a big one. And then two, just the choices in your language, right? Because Dr. John and I were talking about this the other day. Your kids remember things mentally, but their body also remembers how things felt. And so when you're going through a season of getting out of debt, if you guys are feeling anxiety and stress and, we got to do this and we got to do it like this and we got to do it now, I would challenge you to make the feeling like, this is so good for us. We're sacrificing. We're going to have freedom. We're going to have choices.
It's exciting.
And make it an exciting thing, a thing that feels like liberating, empowering. And then their bodies are going to remember that feeling, when mom and dad took control of their life, I've never seen them more confident. So I think there's a lot that can be done with the mood that you're creating in the house surrounding getting out of debt and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's good. I know I'm reading a book right now, Sissy Goff wrote, and it's all about anxiety in kids. And she talks about that as a parent, if you have anxiety, your kids are 7 times more likely for that. So I think that's key, Laura, the environment you create it's huge. It impacts your kids. And then the other thing, Laura, I would also say with your kids, so that everything we just kind of spoke on was the perspective of, you as the parent reacting to your money situation to your kids, but let your kids feel and experience money on their own. And so having them, even at their age, they can do a couple of chores here and there and pay them, and teaching them, especially your older one, your 5-year-old, give, save, and spend. It's like these 3 basic buckets of money, but it's buckets that as adults, that's basically what we can do with money. We can give it, we can save it and spend it, and we want to do all 3. And so you kind of start letting them experience the emotion and the principle, habit building ideas around money themselves, even at a young age. So, Laura, if you hang on the line, Austin's going to pick up, and I want to give you Financial Peace Junior, because that's our set of teaching young kids how to handle money, and Smart Money, Smart Kids. It's the first book I wrote with my dad. It was a New York Times bestseller because it's all about the perspective from the child of growing up in a home where money is talked about, and it's in a perspective that is healthy. And obviously, Dad was the parent in that and what they did. So I'm going to give you those, Laura, because I think this is the part of this show that we talk about changing your family tree.
Absolutely.
Because there's a generational habit that is built, and what your kids see and what they experience and what they believe about money is passed down to them. And you can do it well and intentional like you are, or sometimes it's just accidental and your kids get what they get, right? And so I think the intentional route is really, it's important, because money's such a stressful part of life. And when your 100%. Kids can see that healthy perspective, it's big. So thanks, Laura, for the call. We appreciate it. So Jade, what's been the biggest stuff? Because your kids are how old?
2, 3, and 5.
So you have exactly their age.
Yeah, exactly. And my oldest, he's just at the point where it's like, oh, okay, so he does chores and he gets, a little bit of money for his chores, but still going into the store, he doesn't understand, like, this only buys so much. So we're constantly explaining, like, you only have so much, and if you want more, you have to work more, and the more you work, the more money you have, and you can buy things that are more expensive. So we're kind of in that phase right now. My youngest, she's not there yet.
Yeah. No.
She is not there yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. And it's so funny too to watch your kids, and I have a 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and for sure there are personalities when it comes to it where I'm like, I know which way you're going to be bent. And I just announced today, actually, I have a kid's book coming out in November. It's called I'm Glad for What I Have. And it's dedicated to my middle daughter, because it's all about contentment. Yeah. And it's for younger kids. But it's learning that contentment piece is huge, that it's okay to have nice stuff. Yeah. But we don't want our nice stuff to have us.
So important.
And our kids think that the Amazon delivery guy is like part of the family, right? Yeah. So I'm like, they can get in this,
come whenever he wants.
Yeah, they get in this rhythm of like what stuff is today. Yeah. And what's crazy is our kids don't even see money. They don't see cash anymore. They don't see even debit cards or credit cards. It's on your phone.
That's right.
You're buying online. So making that connection for our kids in a real life scenario is so key, so key. So thanks again, Laura, for the call, and we'll be back.
Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz hosting this hour with Ramsey personality Jade Warshaw. And if you guys enjoy the show, it's so helpful if you share the show, subscribe to the show, leave a review. All of those things really help in the algorithm of the world of podcasts and YouTube and all of it, because we want the show in front of as many people as possible, because we want to be able to help them when it comes to their life and their money. So it's always helpful when you guys do that. And we know you do it because we see the response and the numbers and all of it. So we're so grateful for that. And again, trying to get this country under control, Jade.
I know, that's right.
One show at a time.
One show at a time.
One episode at a time. All right, up next we have Philip in Birmingham. Hey, Philip, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So I got maybe more of a two-part question, but I'll just start with the first part. So I've been listening pretty intently for the past week. I did Financial Peace when me and my wife first got married 6 years ago, and haven't really followed it as closely as I probably should have. We currently have $13,000 in unhealthy debt that we owe on a car. And we have
Hold up.
135.
Wait. When you say unhealthy debt, what do you mean by that? And tell me what the healthy debt is.
The only reason I say that is I'm just putting my mind in the right perspective that I want to get rid of all of our debt.
Okay. So you do know there's not really like healthy debt per se?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But plenty of people would say it's completely necessary to get a car.
Yes.
And that's fine. And I don't want to go with the grain on that.
Okay, good.
So I'm trying to allow myself emotionally to catch up to lifestyle changes that me and my wife are starting to make over the past few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the first start is just mentally saying, okay, we're gonna have a little bit of a verbal battle with what the world typically tells people her and me.
Changing your language. Well,
Jade's catching on.
Jade,
I like it.
You're not getting anything past Jade,
That's right.
Philip.
Look.
So watch out.
$13,000 in debt, which is unhealthy as it all is. So what else you got?
Correct. And then our mortgage, which we owe $135K. We got that 3 years ago. Thankfully, before things got really crazy, but still we owe $135K on that.
Uh-huh.
Aside from that, we have zero debt, zero medical bills, zero student loans. So we're okay on that side,
Mm-hmm.
but we still want to get ahead of the curve. And that's the first part of just saying, hey, this is everything we have going on right now. And the second part of my question was, I do want to get rid of the debt we have in our car, but I also haven't invested nearly as much into our retirement as I want to. I currently invest into a Roth IRA. And my question was, should I keep hitting, should I maximize as much as I can to my Roth IRA
Mm-hmm.
and still try to pay extra on the car? Or should I put that on hold, knock at the car first, and then hit my Roth IRA and mutual funds heavy after that?
Yeah.
I see the benefit of both sides. I don't want to. I'm going to be 31.
Yeah, I think you're freaking out,
so.
and I think you're freaking out. And I don't think you need to freak out as bad as you are. I like that you're on top of this. I like that you're looking at the future and you're going, all right, what do I need to do to make sure that we're set up in the best possible way? But you're not new to our teaching, so we walk through a series of baby steps. And so, what do you think that I'm going to say?
We need to get rid of our car loan as soon as possible.
Ding, ding. Yeah, and do you know why though? Do you know kind of the principle behind that?
Sure.
So, what is it? You're the teacher right now because I think you know this.
I do. It just helps having a third party who's unbiased. Kind of let us think that most of the people
I'm
we
not
talk to
unbiased.
have
I'm
a
not
little bit of
unbiased.
bias.
I'm
Yeah.
not unbiased, but
So Philip, I think what you can get in your head, because we always say there's either the nerd or the free spirit. Are you probably the nerd? I'm going to assume.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, yeah, I thought I was right. You're running numbers and calculations and all of this, and you're seeing, oh my gosh, my Roth and my retirement, all of it. And I understand that. I really, really do. And again, what you said at the beginning of the call is we're going against the grain. And what the grain would say is, yeah, go ahead. You fund retirement. You do that. You try to, keep up with your credit card balance, and you can pay a little bit on your car, some on your house. You just spread everything around, and you kind of just get mediocre, right? Mediocrity is what the result ends up being, because there's not intentional focus on one thing. And so the great thing for you, Philip, is that you're 31. And so retirement, if you hold off a few years, because how much do you guys make a year? How much do you and your wife make?
Anywhere between 55 and 60K.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So you guys will have, some time to pay off this car. And maybe it's, you take an extra job, you guys are cutting stuff, you're selling stuff, you do all of that. Maybe it's an 18-month turnaround, right? 12 months, it's a year.
Sure.
Okay, that's not going to be detrimental to your retirement. It's really not. I mean, overall, because you're going to be able to invest more money. If you think about it, just even if you took that car payment and added that to your Roth on top of what you would have done, right? It starts to compound. And that's the great thing, is that you're going to catch up. And here's the deal too, Philip. If you were 61, our advice would be the same, regardless. And so where you are is in a great spot. You're in a healthy spot. You see the problem, attack that car, get it out of here. And then that's going to free you guys up to use have some savings in an emergency fund. Do y'all have any money saved right now?
Just our emergency fund. We had some medical bills. We had a daughter this year, and I was paying the taxes from rolling over my 401k into a Roth IRA.
Okay. Yeah.
And after my wife being on maternity leave, which we planned ahead for that, but it kind of puts us back to just having an emergency fund. So we have around $3,000 in savings right now.
Okay.
That's all we have at the moment.
Okay, that's great. And I would be curious. You don't need to sell the car, because I think you guys can pay this off. But even if you wanted to run the numbers for fun, Philip, I mean, there's some people that call the show and they're like, I want out of debt tomorrow. Like get me out. And they would take a hit on the car, take a smaller loan, they'll go through that process. You don't need to. The math is on your side in that regard.
Yeah.
You're not in that urgent of a state, but I would say, run some numbers while y'all are kind of going against the grain. Just keep pushing at it.
Yeah. I think you'd be surprised how quickly that you'll pay off this 13K. If you get intense, I think it'll go by way faster than you thought.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks for calling, Philip. I appreciate it. And good luck to you guys, and congrats on the new addition.
Most definitely.
The new baby. Yeah, this is, I feel like, one of the things that is it's kind of a myth in the personal finance space, is that you can do 18 things at once.
Yeah.
And the secret is, if there is a secret, is especially early on when you're getting out of debt and you're wanting to save a chunk of money in an emergency fund, when you are focused and you point everything at one thing and you actually spend time on it, even if it takes a year, if it takes 18 months, 24 months, the progress you see in that is where the idea that personal finance is 80% behavior, it's only 20% head knowledge, comes into play. Like when you start to win and you start to see progress, not like teeny things here and there and random things, like big steps, big progress in one area, like paying off debt. It's motivating.
Well, yeah, because if you don't focus, right, let's say you've got $500 extra at the end of the month and you're like, I'm going to start paying off debt, and each debt gets $50. Like you never see the needle move. And before you know it, you're like, this is not working. And you just lose your motivation and you go back to your old habits. But when you suddenly take that $500 and you throw it at a credit card bill, that's $2,000, and you're done.
Yep.
In 4 months, you're like, wait a second, like I can keep going. I can do this forever. And so there's definitely something to be said for focus intensity, turning the light into a laser beam, and you're burning through that debt. So, I mean, that's the way to do it. That's the way that works.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And then again, the idea that people get caught up just like he did, Philip, that's such a normal mindset of freaking out about retirement, because we do see these charts of compound interest that if you started at 18, what you would beat all of it, which is all great. And it's true.
Yeah. Time is your friend, but.
Yes. But getting things in order and having a peaceful foundation under you financially before you start going and looking far in the future, it changes everything. It changes the emotion around money. It really does. So thanks again, Philip, for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now to get up to 50% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. So, Jade, I'm so excited. I think it's in 2 weekends from now.
Yes.
October 19th through the 21st, our Money and Marriage event is happening here at the Ramsey Event Center right up the hill if you're here. And it's going to be a multi-day event over the weekend. Dr. John Zaloni and I are kind of heading it up, and we're really diving into these topics of money and marriage for a full weekend. And Jade, you're going to be here too.
I am. I'm so excited. But we were just talking about how this is very different than some of the other
events that we've done. I know.
In a very good way.
Yes. So yeah, it's a lot of really, I think like just a point of connection we want to have with the audience, because it's couples that are going to be there. Mm-hmm. And again, it's these two subjects that can be really difficult to talk about at times. And so it's going to be very casual.
Yes.
It's going to be really fun. We want to give you the tools to be able to cast a vision, maybe challenge you in some areas, to be able to walk away. But there's some fun guests. John and I, we're doing a panel, actually. My husband, Winston's going to be there, and John's wife, Sheila, which this is a big deal. This never happens. The spouses never end up coming, but we rope them in. Jade, you're going to be there for your session with Sam.
Sam's going to be there too. Yeah.
Your husband. So yeah.
Wow.
So it's going to be a hangout. We have evening things planned for you guys. So it's going to be really fun. So our VIP and platinum tickets are already sold out. So there's a few more just general admission. So if you want to go to RamseySolutions.com/events. It's $799 a couple. And
wow, that's
again,
great.
Yes, we want you out of debt, of course. We want you on baby steps 4, 5, or 6.
But I'm saying for 2 people at $799?
Yeah, for 2.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
per couple.
great.
Yep. So again, multi-day event, and it's going to be really fun here in Nashville. So get some time away from the kids, get away from your normal life, come hang out in Nashville with us. Money and Marriage, October 19th through the 21st. Again, go to RamseySolutions.com/events to join us.
Love it.
All right, up next, we have Sean in Louisville. Hey, Sean, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jade. Hi, Rachel. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Well, so my wife and I are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and we found out that we are going to have our second child sometime around June.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So fun.
So my question is what your all's thoughts are on pausing 4, 5, and 6 to save up for the baby.
Okay, so are you guys, I'm just clarifying, you have no debt. How much savings do you have in your emergency fund?
11 or 12,000.
Okay, that's great.
How much do you need for the baby? Like, what's your deductible going to be?
Excuse me. I've looked through so many numbers actually trying to figure out what plan we're going on next year. So like out of pocket, I think would be like 7,000.
Okay. And you're investing 15% right now?
Right.
I would probably pause the other 2. I would keep investing. I wouldn't stop investing. I think still investing your 15%. But if you guys want to kind of like pull back from paying off if you're putting extra towards the house or something, and you want to pull back and save up what that's going to be, I think that's a good rule of thumb, because we always do tell people to pause the debt snowball if you're getting out of debt, to pause that and pile up cash if you're expecting a baby. But besides that, Sean, I wouldn't pause retirement. How much do you guys make a year?
$70K.
Okay.
Have you run out the numbers? What that would look like without pausing, and how much are you able to save by June if you weren't pausing?
So if we just stopped 5 and 6, we're able to save up like $450 a month, but it doesn't. It still doesn't quite get us to that 7,000 mark. I think that's where the concern is.
What does it get you to? I can do the math. Do the math real quick.
It's I want to say like 5,000 maybe.
What I would do, I'll be honest, I wouldn't pause retirement for that. I would, and then as the bills come in, I'd pay the bills as they come in, and you might be surprised, because I'm trying to think back through this, Rachel, of when I had babies, and some of the stuff came in right away. Some of it I prepaid.
Yeah, and then most of it's at the end.
Yeah, most of it's at the end, and they start rolling in, but it's not like in one day you have to write a check for $7,000.
Right.
So I'd probably just cash flow it. I'd cash flow the bills as they come in.
And Sean, if you guys get to the end of it and you need $1,000 from your emergency funds, then
it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, grab the $1,000 that you have saved there, keep funding retirement, put your $1,000, back into the emergency fund, refill it, and you guys just keep going. But I would hate for you to lose steam on that. Now, if you were telling me that you needed $17,000 or something,
different.
Then we can talk about it. But the fact that you guys are so close to be able to cash flow it.
And the bigger thing too here is I wouldn't want to, if for me it's a habit forming thing, I wouldn't want to build the habit of when we need to do something, we stop retirement. Does that make sense? Even though this is very important, I think there's something to be said for that resourcefulness. Okay, how can we make this work? Because going forward, there are going to be things that you need to do, not just want to do, but need to do, that are going to be, very expensive. And I don't want to build the thought of, well, we could pause retirement for a little while to make it happen. Does that make sense? That's kind of where my mind is going on this. And if this were the conversation going on in my house with Sam, that's the argument that I would bring up. I'd be like, well, Sam, I think that we can do this without building that habit. So
yep, absolutely. So we'd cash flow it, dip into the emergency fund at the end if you need to. But like Jade said, I think you'll be surprised. I think you guys will be able to get through this. Yeah. So thanks for the call. Up next, we have Blake in Salt Lake City, Utah. Hey, Blake, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So I am 23 years old. I'm a flooring contractor, married with a 2-year-old son, and we have racked up about $33,000 worth of debt, and I've paid about $3,000 of it off. We're looking at my note here. $2,200 left in credit cards, $12,000 on a truck for my job, and $17,000 on a car for my wife. And I want to plan to go to school here in the next 2 or 3 years for an associate's degree in mechatronic engineering. And I just want to know how I can best tackle this debt and actually start saving and putting stuff away.
Yeah.
So I can cash flow that school. I don't want to go into debt for an associate's degree. And
I love that.
I'm kind of just lost.
Yeah, no, totally. How much are you making right now?
I make about $70,000 a year gross.
Okay. That's great.
What about your wife?
She is not working. She is just at home with our boy.
Okay, good. So my first thought is there's always the idea of that you've got to increase your income. The faster you want to pay off the debt, obviously the more income coming in is going to be helpful for that. So my mind immediately goes to, is there anything that you can do to increase your income? And is there anything that your wife can do to get some income coming in? Because when it comes to paying off debt, $1,000 extra a month does a world of difference. $2,000 extra a month does a world of difference. So that's my first question to you. I know she's staying home with a young one, but is there something that she could do while she's at home?
Before we had our son, she actually got certified as a child birth doula.
Uh-huh.
So that she did that for a while when we were first married. And, every once in a while she's brought in, a couple $1,000 here and there. She just is so anxious about like spending time away from our boy, just because she didn't have a dad growing up, and it's kind of catchy thing
I
for
totally,
her.
I hear that. And I would say for a season, not a pattern over life, but for a season, maybe that's something you guys look into. And then also, Blake, you guys have almost $30,000 in car debt.
Oh, yeah.
I would look at the $17,000 car and see how much it's worth. If you guys could sell that, I mean, that knocks down your debt significantly.
Yeah. Even if you're upside down.
Yeah, taking a smaller loan, and then, I mean, that gets you guys far ahead. So, Blake, honestly, for me, I would look at the cars to get a jump start on that. Mm-hmm. So, thanks for the call. Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz hosting this hour with Ramsey personality Jade Warshaw. And we're taking your calls. It's a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. Up next, we have Jay in Orlando. Hey, Jay, welcome to the show.
Hey, girls. How you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Awesome. I just jumped right into my question here.
Yes.
I've got paid for house. It's worth about $300,000.
Nice.
But we have about $150,000 in student loans and car debt. So I'm wondering, is it wise to sell that home, pay off every single penny of debt, rent for maybe a year or two, and then buy another home down the road?
What's your income?
I'm working right now myself. My wife is finishing PTA school. She'll be starting in probably April or May. So right now we're at about $65,000 a year.
And what will she be making when she starts?
She'll be probably around the same, 65, 70, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
So you've got the student loans, and can you break down the student loans versus the cars?
Yeah, we've got about 110 in student loans.
Okay.
And then about 30 for the car, and the rest in credit cards and a stupid refrigerator.
Oh gosh, so about 10,000.
Yes.
Okay, 20,000. So this car, what you owe 30,000 on it? What's it worth?
We're upside down, probably about $7,000. So it's probably worth about 22 or 23 right now.
Mm-hmm. Is that private sale?
Private sale, yes.
Well, if it were me, I'd probably be trying to get out of it. I'd probably take the $7,000 hit and to owe less, to knock this debt down significantly. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't sell the house. Mm-mm. I just wouldn't. It's such an amazing asset. It's going up in value. If you were to get out of it now, my guess is your interest rate now is far better than it would be in the next year or so if you were to save up and try to buy. It's like, I almost feel like you'd be going backwards to try to go forward, when right now, literally, you can just go forward.
Yeah. And Jay, and your wife, when is she going to start work? When did you say she graduates?
She graduates in December. She's taking her board in April, so she'll probably be working like the end of April, early May next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have about 6 months to that. So, I mean, honestly, your life changes dramatically, Jay, once she starts working. So you guys, I mean, it'll take you guys, a few years to do this, but I would rather spend a few years getting out of this consumer debt than taking a hit on an asset like a home. Like, I just don't think selling it. And here's another thing, Jay, that I always caution people, not that it's always, and you can go do what you want. And some people will. They want to sell their house. They want out of debt. They want to do it. But here's the problem, too, when you get a lump sum of money. This is even true with an inheritance or, if you had an insurance claim and you got some cash. A big sweep of just getting some cash just to clear out the debt, yes, that's great because we want you debt-free. But also, there is something about behavior change that is so crucial. And behavior change is caused when you feel a level of pain, you feel a level of sacrifice, and you actually win. Like when you go through that journey, that's what changes you, Jay. And so not that, if you get a bunch of money, we want you to pay it off, right? I'm not saying not to do it, but also, in the same time, it doesn't always change Jay. Yeah. It doesn't always change you. It doesn't change your wife when you just can, just do this full sweep. So,
Rachel, I think I am going to say not to do it.
Not to sell the house?
Yeah.
No, we did. Yeah.
I think we're going to don't sell the house. Make yourself go through this process.
You guys need to do it. And you're going to get a jump start on this process in 6 months. Like these next 6 months, you're going to feel it. Christmas, Jay, is not going to look like Christmas last year. Like you're going to be cutting back on things and that's okay for a season. And then when your wife starts working, that's going to be gasoline on this. And like Jade said, and if you sell the car, then that brings you guys back down to what, 120, 125. Yeah. I mean, you're just starting to knock this stuff out. And so,
and you've got, so they've got the 20,000 in credit cards and refrigerator loans.
Yes.
That to me, like that's the kind of debt that keeps you motivated because it's like $2,000 here and $1,000. Like those are the quick wins that you start to go, oh yeah, we can do this.
We got this. Yeah.
So the way your debt is set up, it's the kind that's like, yes, like we can really see this traction. We can see the movement forward. So yeah, do not sell that house. Walk through it.
Yep, absolutely. Does that help, Jay?
Yes, that absolutely helps. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And remember always, you guys, and those of you listening or watching, that, the deeper you sacrifice and the deeper you say, we're not going on a summer trip next summer. We're not doing Christmas you just have a season where things are cut back. And it's not forever. It's not forever. It's for a season to get this progress, to get this debt paid off. And then, Jay, you guys what's crazy to me is I'm like, after this journey of maybe 2 years, 3 years of doing this, you guys are going to be sitting in a paid for home with, you guys are going to be making, I mean, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Yeah. 130. I mean, like it's powerful to know what your income is going to be able to do when all this debt is cleaned up. So the future's there. We see it. We see it for you.
Not to mention, so many people, Rachel, right now are like, this housing market is so hard.
Oh, it's terrible.
With interest rates and everything, it's so hard to save enough down payment. I'm like, if you can avoid that because you already have property, I would not want to jump into that if I didn't have to.
Nope, not at all. All right, Jay, thanks for the call. Up next, we got Jen in Sacramento. Hey, Jen, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel and Jay. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Yes. So I'm wondering if I should change jobs while pregnant or stay at my current job, which is far away.
Okay.
My husband and I are currently on baby step number 2, and we just found out that we're expecting our second child next June.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so we both work a hybrid schedule. We're 2.5 hours away, and it pays more. He stays with his family 2 nights out of the week just to stay close to work. And I go in twice a week, which is a 5-hour commute each day. We've been doing this for almost a year. Yeah, we've been doing this for almost a year now. And so now that we're expecting our second child, this is just kind of on my mind.
What are you guys earning at this job to make it worth it? Or is it not worth it?
It is worth it. So he works actually 2 jobs. He works at a hospital in admin, and he also got a side hustle as an adjunct professor. My job, I've been getting a raise since I started, but it doesn't pay it pays pretty decent.
What is it?
I'm in an administrative coordinator.
Yeah, but what are you guys earning?
In healthcare. Oh, so our total take-home income a month is $15,200.
Okay.
And we have $100,000 in student loans, a car loan balance of $7,900. We have a mortgage with $377K left. And then we also have a loan for a solar panel, which is about $23,000.
Okay.
So I don't know if I want to work part-time, but that would like cut into like our goal of like trying to pay off debt, and also work like closer. I'm considering like a change in career, like maybe a preschool teacher, but I don't know.
I definitely think that the 2.5 hours is not sustainable. Like you can't continue to do that, especially with the kids coming. That being said, I do think you need to find a happy median, because going from $15,000 a month when you have this debt down to preschool teacher salary, you know what I mean? That's a big jump down. So I think that there's got to be a way that you can meet in the middle in order to make this happen. And kind of do it gradually to where you're still having a nice shovel to pay off this debt, because the hard thing to walk away from is such a high income when you do have that debt. And with that income, you could knock it out so quickly.
Yeah, $100,000 in student loans, right? I mean, and that's, I'm sure was it for you and your husband?
Yeah. The majority of it's mine. Yeah.
And,
okay.
You know, like, don't get me wrong, you're pregnant. There's some things that go into that, obviously, once you have a baby. But I try to ride this out as long as you can, until you've got to make that switch. Because when the baby's born, for sure, you're going to have to make that switch. And you should start preparing now.
Yeah, and if you're 6 months pregnant and you want to be sitting in a car for 5 hours, that's very understandable, Jen. So looking at, how long you can do that. And when you switch jobs, though, the insurance is big. So you want to make sure your insurance is covered, because with the pregnancy and everything, make sure you don't miss that, because it may be worth it. Just stay in just for the insurance to make sure you and baby are good. So make sure to cover that, Jen. But yeah, this is the hard thing with debt. You have it and it's like, oh my gosh, we have to pay this off, and some sacrifices have to be made. So congrats though on the new baby, Jen. And thanks for the call. All right, that puts this hour in the books. Thank you, Jay, for being a great co-host. Thanks to all the guys in the booth for helping us out. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I am Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with the wonderful and the fabulous Ramsey personality Jade Warshaw. We are here to answer your calls, America, and it is a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. So make sure, give us a call. Let us know what you're thinking, what your questions are, and we'd love to walk through your situations with you. That's what we're here for. So at first, we have Taylor in Nashville, here in our home city, Nashville. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
I just actually am calling for my boyfriend. Unfortunately, he had gotten caught up into some things that had landed him in jail for about 2 years unexpectedly.
Oh, okay.
He is home now. And during that time, his mother was able to keep his car payment and his mortgage paid. But of course wasn't able to also take care of his personal loan debt and credit card debt, of course. You know, he's very thankful that she was even able to do that.
Sure.
And now that he is home, he is on a probation parole type thing, where really selling his house is not an option, even though he does have quite a bit of equity, because then he would be homeless and being on supervision. You have to have an address, of course.
Right.
And his credit score is, in the upper mid 400s right now, just because all of that credit card debt and personal loan debt is now in collections and has been for, about a year and a half now.
And how much debt is it total?
In collections total, it's about $30,000.
Uh-huh.
And then he owes about $133,000 on his house.
Uh-huh.
$133,000 on his house. And his car, he owes about what it's worth, which is about $13,000.
And is he working? Has he been able to find any work coming out of jail?
Yes. He's making about $15 an hour right now. I have gotten him, like an every dollar budget kind of laid out.
Yeah.
So as far as like that goes, obviously he's slowly trying to work up that baby step one.
Yeah.
But just having all of it in collections, it's just hard to find really any information on, like if debt settlement might be an option or bankruptcy, or if we should, contact them directly. It's just really hard to kind of find any advice, really.
Yeah. Is it mostly credit cards in the collections or personal loans or what?
Credit cards, and then there is one personal loan.
Okay. How much is the credit cards?
Credit cards is about $20,000.
Okay. And are those separate cards? How many?
About 3 or 4, and then I think there's about 3 or 4.
And are those all from different banks and
all from
everything?
Banks,
okay.
Yeah.
If it were me, I would start with those, like once he's got the $1,000 saved, because he really does need that, I'd start with the collections first, obviously. And I would, let's just say he's got one credit card in collections that's $2,000. I'd stack up $600 or $700 and I'd say, this is what I have. Can we make a deal?
Yeah.
And they're going to make it, if it's in collections, they're going to make a deal with you. The key there is making sure you get every deal in writing before you pay them the money. Right. And you're not giving them access to your account. You're saying, okay, I'll write you a check or I'll do it online, whatever that is. And you're keeping that record forever. And I would literally go down the list of those credit cards and I'd settle them for as low as I possibly could. Make sure you have the cash ready because, you can't just call and say, what would happen if I did this? They're going to be like, no, we want your money. But if you say, look, and honestly, in this case, I'd shoot straight. I'd be like, look, I just got out of prison. This is what I have.
Yeah.
I got $500. And if you don't take this, you're not getting anything from me.
Yeah.
So take it or leave it.
And Taylor, usually with these collection situations, they're passed and then they're sold to another collection agency and then another. I mean, this could be the third time handed down, one of these credit card debts. So just know the system that you're working under, and people aren't in these jobs forever. They're sitting in a cube somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just a nasty
Nightmare.
industry. It really is. And so getting someone, and I think the key here is what you're saying is you need to pull up his credit reports. You guys need to find exactly.
Yes, we have that.
Okay, good. Where the debt is, what it is, and then try to find that. Yes, whoever has that bill in collections, calling the collections agency. And Jade is exactly right. Majority of the time, they will settle with you. And if you have that cash, say, I can send this to you now. And they may want to negotiate a little bit, so kind of play the game.
Yeah.
But when they say, okay, fine, we'll take the $721, say, okay, great, I need you to mail me, with a letter, give me an official letter of agreement. And once I receive that, I will send the money. And so you guys just kind of work that through. And then for his car, I don't know. I feel like this is the sell the car show so far today, Jade.
I know it.
But honestly, I'm like, it's $13,000, and I know he needs a car for work. So if the payments are not overwhelming him, but where he's at, again, you want these debts knocked out, but simultaneously, if there was any other way.
Do you know what the payment is?
$444.
Whoa. That is kind of high.
Yes. Whenever he got it, he had just started building his credit, so his interest rate was high.
Yeah.
And now it's unfortunate because he does have he bought his house right before the market kind of went crazy. So if he was to refinance, he'd have about $100K in equity in his house. So it is kind of unfortunate. It's just hard to, he can't be homeless.
What is his, selling his house doesn't make him homeless because he can rent.
Right.
So what is his mortgage payment?
Even having this felony record, finding somewhere to rent is a real big issue in the area that he's in.
What's his mortgage? And are you helping him with his mortgage? Because $15 an hour.
I am not. His boyfriend or his mom lives with him currently because she just, had to move out of her house or her apartment. So she's living with him and helping him, but the mortgage is about $1,100 a month.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay. This is his situation, not yours.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm just trying to. working my own baby steps.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to advise him the best I can.
Yeah. I'll be
have
honest,
a
the
little more
mortgage
education
thing
and stuff on it.
The mortgage and house thing does scare me, making $15 an hour and having to kind of depend on whoever is able to live with him at the moment. That might be a problem for down the line. Yeah. If I were talking, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, part of me would get out of that because it's just debt that he.
And Taylor, you're nervous that he's not going to be able to find a place to rent because of his felony record. Is that correct?
But I feel like you could I feel like it's not like to say that, hey, sell the house and then look for a place, but maybe you can start doing the research on the front end.
Just saying, yeah.
And just keep,
and if you're clean and out, for 9 to 12 months, if a manager of an apartment complex will work with him, because Jade's right, there's a lot on here, and where he is, just in life, it's just a lot. So Taylor, the places that he can take off that weight, so whether it's selling the car, the housing situation is big, and as Jade, pondering all of that, because I think it's true, it's a big piece of this puzzle. But I would start with that collections, and you guys work on that. And Taylor, you're very supportive, very kind. So thanks for all that you're doing in his life. That's huge. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y Refi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Y Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with Jade Warshaw, fellow Ramsey personality, and taking your calls. So, Jade, I feel like in life, there's these moments in your life that you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, that changed everything, right? I think about like September 11th and the way you go through airports changed everything, right? So, these different moments. And so, one of those moments in history for us will forever be COVID.
Yes.
That it changed everything is what it feels like. And it changed the way that we do life, the way that we shop, what we expect, the convenience elements. Suddenly you don't have to go into Target. You can just pull right up and they bring the bags out to you. So
some of that's good.
All these new features, yes. But Americans, they have not slowed down when it comes to their online purchases. So whether it's Amazon or DoorDash, these things are more popular than ever. We got used to things being dropped right at our door.
Comfy cozy.
And there was an interesting article from USA Today.
That's right. It says prices are up. It says, although the pandemic has eased, Americans seem to be spending more than ever for the convenience of having groceries, meals, and household wares delivered directly to their doors. The average delivery service customer is spending, this is crazy, around $407 a month in 2023. That's up $157 from 2021.
Oh my gosh, it doubled in 2 years.
That's what? Help me understand, Rachel, because I'm like, wait a minute. On the one side, all you hear is inflation, interest rates. I can't do anything. Student loans. And everybody's like, their life is imploding. But somehow they're still able to DoorDash, that sub sandwich. And I'm like, how?
McDonald's. Yeah, that's the funniest one to me.
Like McDonald's, somehow you still are eating McDonald's in bed that they've delivered to you,
that
even
costs
though
probably more than your McDonald's meal.
Oh, come on. Let's talk about that. It says in the Lending Tree survey, 82% of customers or consumers said they used on-demand delivery over the past year. By and large, the survey found that consumers chose delivery out of what? Convenience.
Always.
Comfort.
Yep. Which I get. That's
I get
okay.
it.
So I want to know from you what you and Sam in your household, because I'll tell you, I'll go first. Here's what
you
we're
go
guilty
first.
of.
You go first, Rachel.
But before COVID, I went to the grocery store all the time.
Yeah.
And did it. Y'all, during COVID and now after, I still have my Instacart subscription, and it is the most convenient, wonderful thing. It is. So for me,
it is convenient.
The grocery delivery, and the best one is it has Costco. So I don't.
True that.
And I still will randomly go into Costco because I'm like, there's still some stuff that I may miss. But to have Costco delivered to my door.
Look.
I do. Look. I pay the extra fee and I pay the subscription. Well, your delivery fee technically is taken care of. You have the subscription. And then I tip on top of that. So it is more. And they do kind of mess with the prices, I think. So like overall,
they 100% do.
I know I'm spending more. I know I am.
Like Instacart tells you.
But to be a mom and not have to take 3 kids to the grocery store and I come home and like, it's there.
I don't know.
Donna delivered it. And I'm like, Donna, thank you. You made my day, Donna, so much better. So that is... It's my guilty pleasure. It's where I spend, Jade.
Look,
I don't do food delivery. I don't do out to eat unless it's like pizza delivery or something. But other than that, I don't do.
Yeah, like pizza delivery. I don't feel like that falls into this category because they've always delivered.
Yes,
like that's always been the thing.
Okay, do you not do you do?
I'm going to be honest. COVID didn't make me do the grocery delivery thing. Like I enjoy going to the grocery store. I prefer not going with my kids, but I like to go. I like to browse the aisles. What made me start switching to grocery deliveries, I kind of live out far from the stores that I like. And now I work outside the home. And I didn't do that before. And so those two things. So my point is, whatever the convenience is, because for some people, they got in the comfort level after COVID. Other people, their life changed. And it's like, hey, now this is, I'm not going to call it a necessity, but it does make your life easier.
Yeah, for sure.
But here, honestly, by and large, here's the real thing. If you can afford it, I'm not mad at you.
Sure.
But if you can't afford it, like if you're like, DoorDash on my credit card, bad idea. Like that's the worst idea ever because you've got look, if you're putting DoorDash on your credit card, can we just run this number down real quickly, Rachel?
Oh, man.
If
do an interest rate of like 22% on the card.
22% added pain and regret. Then you add your nachos on top of that. Then you add the tip for Chad on top of that.
And then the delivery fee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woo, it better be worth it. Those nachos better go down smooth and easy. Because here's the thing. They're going to leave later. They're leaving. It's not even worth it.
Only for a moment.
You're literally flushing money down the toilet. That's all I got to say about that.
For a moment. Woo. I know. Okay, and then the other one that hurts me on this too, Jade, is Amazon.
Oh gosh, Amazon. I'm an offender. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm a repeat offender.
And here's the danger with Amazon is everything starts to feel like a need where I'm like, I'm trying to think like
my kid's little Power Wheels battery died and I just got one.
Yes. Yep. And you're like, we'll just Amazon it. We'll Amazon it. And it's this like convenience of life.
Yeah.
Where before I'm like, something stupid like a light bulb would burn out. And I'm like, oh, next time I go to the store, I'll fix it. It may be like,
it might be months.
Weeks, months later.
Because back in the day,
with Amazon, it's going to be there in 2 days. And it's, that money's being spent. So
that is so true.
It is. It does mess, I think, with our needs versus wants. 100%. Things can start to feel like that. So again, convenience is not bad. And in my season of life, that is where I would tend to put some of my margin is towards the conveniences. Because it just makes life easier with 3 little kids, all the things, and people were scattered everywhere. But also, I will echo what you're saying.
Yeah. It definitely curtails your thinking.
Yeah, and if you're in baby steps, especially 1 through 3, you guys, it adds up. It adds up, and we are sitting here admitting it adds up, and we pay for it, and we do it, and we know it. We kind of swallow that pill and go. But if you are looking to cut back, these are great places to cut back. Delete the Amazon app.
You got to delete the app. Thank you, Rachel. That's what I was getting to. If you're in baby step 1 or 3, you cannot have it on your phone. You got to delete the app, DoorDash, Amazon. What's another one? definitely.
I think about all the subscriptions.
Yeah.
Uber Eats,
Instacart. Thank you.
Instacart, I know. Sorry, Instacart.
You just can't let it tempt you. It's like
because it adds up, right? And I think I would be sick to my stomach if I went and grocery shopped with my exact list and went in the store and just bought versus probably what I pay for with added up. I mean, like it's a difference. So if you're looking for margin, these are great places to cut. But again, majority of Americans are not cutting them. The average millennial is spending $575 a month on on-demand delivery.
Well, in
the past year,
some of the deliveries, let's talk about this part of it, Rachel, because you can kind of meet it in the middle, right? Like you can do like Kroger Click List and have them, the drive up.
Yes, which is actually great because you can see the total.
Yes,
and stick within your budget.
That is a good one. Where you order them online and then you go pick it up. That way you're not wandering through. You're still saving time on that. Also, now not if you're in baby step 2, but if you are ordering food, like how easy. I mean, again. There's cooking dinner at home, which is like, oh man. And then there's, I'm going to order it and go at least pick it up. Can you just put the key in the ignition? Can you throw some sweatpants on and just go?
Choosing delivery over a trip to the store triggers delivery fees, service fees, and tips. Ooh. Together, they make up to 36% of food delivery costs.
Wow.
So it's a lot.
You're making bank.
You're adding a lot. And then surcharges on top of that. So
wow.
Yeah, y'all, if you're looking for margin, we are used to the life of convenience since COVID, but I would say nix it for a season, get that cash back.
That's right.
Get that margin back, and it will give you more peace of mind because we all need some peace, Jade, because we are a world of ball of anxiety the levels of anxiety are up, you guys. Sadly, the depression is right there with it. And thankfully, we have Dr. John Deloney on our team who gives us truth when it comes to this subject. And he has a brand new book out called Building a Non-Anxious Life. It's available now. And you guys, listen, this is such an important topic to talk about your mental health and taking care of who you are as a person overall. Don't neglect that. Like, step into that and learn. And if this is something that you're interested in or have questions on or feel like, oh my gosh, I just need a guide in this whole area of my life, order John's book. Go to RamseySolutions.com. Order John's new book, Building a Non-Anxious Life. You will not regret it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to ChurchillMortgage.com today to learn more.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz hosting with Jade Warshaw. And we're here taking your calls. It's a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. Here to talk about your life and your money. All right, up next we have Jonathan in Minneapolis. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. How are you this afternoon?
Absolutely. We are doing great. Jonathan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. So my parents are a few years away from retirement. My wife, my parents, and I are thinking about selling both of our houses and combining living situations into one larger house. It would involve temporarily, at least temporarily, increasing the balance of my mortgage in order to make that transition. And I've got more details if you want to go through those, but that's quick overview.
What's the purpose of combining homes?
So my parents will likely in the next few years have some medical situations that would make them not able to take care of a house long term. And so basically the house that we're looking at would be essentially a basement apartment the size of about their current house. And then we would be able to help take care of them. They would be able to grow up around their grandkids, and everybody's on board with the situation in principle. I think there's some question on would this be able to work in the short term versus trying to make that or trying to wait a few more years.
What would happen? Whose name would be on the deed?
It would be mine, or my wife and I.
Mm-hmm. And
so, John, can I just jump in? Okay, I just feel like, Jonathan, this always presents before a step like this situation sounds always usually better than the outcome of what occurs. You and your wife, do you guys have kids?
We do, too.
2 kids, okay. And how old are you guys?
We're both 32. We have 2 kids under 3.
Okay, awesome. So very heroic, noble, the honor and respect, right, that you're giving your parents of, hey, we want to help take care of you. Like, all of that is good. But the tactical side of combining living situations, you and your wife, now your unit as a family is disrupted, right? Even though they're downstairs and all of that, like the amount of tension and autonomy that will not be there for your family unit is very high. It's very high. And so while some situations work where in-laws and families live together, and maybe that's what you guys still choose to do and all of it, I just want to be the friend that doesn't know you to caution you, Jonathan,
sure,
that everything you're saying is so noble and good. And I'm just wondering, is there another path that those things can still happen, that your parents are still taken care of, they still see the grandkids, all of those dreams and wants and desires are still fulfilled without having to live under the same roof as your parents?
Sure. So pivoting away from a little bit of the noble side of it, what would be in it for my wife and I would be that my parents, and they're totally on board with this, we've been very transparent with them, but my parents would help us basically to afford more house than we would on our own currently have.
See, and that's the part that I would avoid at all costs. Because do you want to be like, if something were to happen, like what Rachel said, say you get into this and you're like, you know what, this is not as harmonious as we once thought it was going to be. Now you're on the hook for a home that you can't afford on your own. So there's a part of this that
it's a little bit of a risk.
There's a big risk there. So I would say if you were going to go ahead and do this, I wouldn't get into a home that you could not afford on your own, because then you're kind of chained to this deal. Both of you are. And then your parents are going to feel bad, and then you're going to feel bad. And like, there's so much that could happen there. I did want to ask, have you guys ever lived with these parents before, like early on in marriage? Like, or would this be the first time you guys have all lived under one roof?
I did briefly after college. We actually got married in their current house, but not for a sustained period of time, no.
How long?
So after college, I lived back home for a couple of months, and then, we stay with them anytime we visit, but not more than a week at a time.
But not with your wife, I'm saying.
Well, with my wife, not after college, but with my wife for periods of
so Jonathan, part of your motivation to do this is to be the noble, taking care of your parents and getting a bigger house, essentially, that you guys couldn't afford on your own, but you and your family get an awesome big house. Okay.
Right. And there's some economies of scale. It brings down our living expenses for both sides. But yeah, that's kind
like
of
bills and like electricity and water. Is that what you're thinking when you're saying that?
Food, maintenance of 2 separate houses.
Okay. The situation you guys are in right now, Jonathan, the house that you're in, Is there problems with that? Is there size issues? Is there anything? Are you guys comfortable in your current living situation?
Long term, I don't see this house lasting us more than a few more years. So,
okay, why?
The layout of it, it's 2,500 square feet. That sounds like a lot more than it feels like the house is. It's not laid out very well.
Okay, and how much do you guys owe on that house?
Mortgage is $175 remaining for a house that's worth about $410.
$410, okay. And how much do you guys make a year?
$120 single income.
$120, okay. You're making it, and then your parents, their situation. What's their home worth?
Their home is worth about $300,000. They have about $65,000 remaining on the mortgage.
Awesome. And how much are they? Are they working?
They're still both working, and their combined household income is about $180,000.
Okay.
And do they have retirement? Like, do they have a nice retirement?
Yes. Yeah, they're expecting their retirement, especially if they can keep working a few more years, to be somewhere around $80,000 a year.
Awesome.
Not drawing from investments.
Perfect. And they'll be having that house paid off soon. Okay, so Jonathan, how far away do you guys live from each other now?
About 8 hours.
How much?
About 8 hours.
8. Oh, okay, so it is long distance right now. So you guys want to be
it
want to be close.
It would be us moving to another Midwestern metro area.
Okay, is it cheaper than Minneapolis? Their town?
Comparable. They're both relatively low to medium.
Comparable.
Cost.
Okay.
And do your careers allow you to move and find something in the same field,
yes, I work
same amount of
remote,
money?
And all I need is an airport, and that would work perfectly there.
Okay, and they don't need your assistance right now medically, correct?
Correct.
And when do you see that happening?
That's a situation we'll know more in probably 6 months.
Okay,
is it both of them or one of them?
Potentially both.
What is it? What's going on with them? Can I ask?
So my dad has some back issues that causes him pain. He's still able to fully functional.
Yeah.
He might have some surgical procedure to try and address it that might have some risks with it.
Okay. What about your mom?
Associated with it. She's got an early screening for potential dementia.
I'm sorry.
So no definitive diagnosis there.
Okay.
But
that
could become an issue. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, I don't want to sound heartless as I move into tactical real quick. We have 30 seconds real fast, Jonathan. So here's what I would do. If I was your friend and me and Winston were out with you, Jonathan, and your wife over drinks and we're talking about your situation, I would say if you guys want to move closer to family, to be with family, do it. Go get your own house. They're about to have a paid for home. They're living their retirement dream. Go close to them so that you guys can commute and do what you need to do there. If there's no urgency to move now unless there's something coming, there's nothing definitive right now in their medical history that is necessary.
It's just a scary thing.
And that can be. But I would not combine just to get a bigger house, Jonathan. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
So that's what Jade and Sam and Winston and Rachel would say if we were all out to dinner with you, Jonathan.
No, I'm not doing it.
Yep. So I appreciate the nobility though, Jonathan. Yeah. Thanks for the call. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with a daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I am at Rachel Cruz hosting with Jade Warshaw and taking your calls. If you guys have not checked out Financial Peace University, this is something that is a staple here at Ramsey Solutions that I would really recommend. It is our 9-lesson course on how to handle your money, from the basics to everything you wish you had learned when it comes to insurances and mortgage and budgeting and paying off debt, everything. So, to take a quick class, you can watch the lessons, you can join a class actually and be in community with other people while you're doing this. But we find that people that take FPU, they are debt-free in 2 years or less, and their financial turnaround is just amazing. So if you want to just know more, if you're new to this show, we have a lot of new people from podcasts and YouTube, and you're like, man, I just need like a crash course on getting my money in order. Yeah. What do I do? Go to RamseySolutions.com/FPU and check that out, because it really is, it's a great investment. We have that tool and EveryDollar Premium, which is another, it's like the best budgeting tool on the planet, you guys. So we were talking to some people that come here and they sit in the lobby here at Ramsey Solutions and they watch the show live, which is so fun. And so we get to talk to people during the breaks and everything. And I would say EveryDollar is probably the one that gets brought up, that's like, oh my gosh, we use EveryDollar. We love it. Yeah. It's helped us so much. And so make sure there's a free version just on the App Store. So check that out. So we just have some great resources here at Ramsey. We want to be able to help you when it comes to this financial journey, because there's a lot of questions, can be a lot of confusion. Yeah. A lot of voices out there, and we want to be clear and concise with you all.
I agree. No, EveryDollar is that's the business right there. And because it has the guidance in there for you too. So it's like, if you have questions, it's in there telling you, hey, you should probably do this. Or if you're thinking, I wonder if this is enough savings, it'll tell you like, hey, you need a little bit more. It'll tell you all that stuff. It's wonderful. Yeah, and we actually do some webinars around EveryDollar. So if you go to everydollar.com/budgeting, Jade, you're doing some, I'm doing some. Mine's coming up 10/10.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's coming 10/10. Up soon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so go to everydollar.com/budgeting. You can sign up for those webinars. I'm doing one in November and December. I think George Campbell's doing some as well. So we are, here to help you guys. So make sure to check out all those resources, because we want to help you along this journey. All right, up next we have Gregory and Biloxi. Hey, Gregory, welcome to the show. Gregory, are you there?
Hey, how are you doing? Yes, ma'am.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We are doing awesome. How can we help today?
I have some questions on how to get my Roth IRA started. I've heard a lot about it, and I just don't know exactly where to go and what to put my money into.
Yeah, it's a great question. A great starting off point.
So if it were me, there's several brokerages that you could open up a Roth IRA with, and you could do that portion on your own, just open up the account. But when it comes to the investing side of it, I would work with a professional. I'd work with a SmartVestor Pro. And if you're on baby step 4, the goal is that you're investing 15% of your income. Are you on baby step 4?
I am, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
awesome.
That's exciting.
How much do you make a year?
I make about 60, 65.
Okay, perfect. So you'll be able to invest. Do you have a 401k at your workplace by chance?
I do, and I have it maxed out to the match. I also have one with my second job, the Reserves in the Marine Corps. I have it maxed out to match.
Way
as
to
well.
go!
Well done, Gregory. That's amazing. Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to that 15% with the Roth IRA, but I wanted to know how to get to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I was thinking you'll have, a little over, probably $7,000 to be able to invest that 15%. And that's amazing, because you'll do the match first. And that's exactly right. You're doing everything exactly right. Do the match first, and then go over to the Roth. And then for all of you listening out there, you go ahead and max out your Roth. And if you still have 15% left, if you still have percentages left of your 15, go back to your 401k and you're able to invest in that too. Go back to that. But yeah, the Roth IRA is the next step for you, Gregory. And you can max it out at $6,000. You probably won't max it out right now with your income, but all the extra remaining 15% you have, yes, will go into that Roth. And Jade said it, but I would sit down with a SmartVestor Pro. If you go to RamseySolutions.com, we have people all over the country who are investment professionals. And yeah, you can actually open up the account on your own. But we would encourage you to do good growth stock mutual funds.
That's right.
Inside of that Roth IRA to invest so that your money's spread out. And it's a great retirement vehicle, the Roth.
Yeah. Tell them you want growth, aggressive growth in income, and international. That's what you want. 25% of the money you give them into each of those categories, and they'll help you pick the funds that are performing best in those areas.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome, Gregory.
Thank you for the call.
Yeah, well done. Thanks for your service. And man, that's it. I'm like, if I just applaud you, Gregory, like that's exactly it. You get through to baby step 4, take that 15% and divide it 401k, Roth IRA, and you do that over time, and how quickly compound interest is your friend. And stuff with the Roth, you guys, like it grows tax free, and it's huge. It does kind of hurt sometimes because you pay with after tax dollars.
Right.
So it does feel a little bit like, oh man, I got to take it out of when it hits your account, you're like, and then it comes out of that. Like
you're like, that's a lot.
You feel it.
But you'd rather feel it now than when you're 60,
Amen.
So there you have it.
All day long. So great. All right, up next we have Rudy in Los Angeles. Hey, Rudy, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So my question is, I am currently upside down on my car loan.
Hey, Rudy, are you able to speak directly into your phone? You're cutting out just a little bit. I want to make sure we can hear you.
Yes.
Oh,
can
perfect.
you guys better now?
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I'm currently upside down on my car loan. My car loan's for $37,000. I made some calls to see how much I can get for it, and the guy from the auction said I can possibly get 31, maybe 32 for it. That is my means of transportation at the moment.
Why are you auctioning it as opposed to?
So I put it the VIN, the mileage, and the details of the vehicle, and based on the market value of the vehicle, that's approximately how much they're offering for the current condition that it's in.
Did you look at like Kelley Blue Book?
I actually tried that. The only thing is, quick backstory. I got the car last year. Within 6 months that I purchased the vehicle or got the loan for the vehicle, it got stolen.
Ooh,
so on the title, it comes out as it's branded now. And so when I put it into Kelley Blue Book, since the car has a branded title, they don't want to give me an offer.
You said it has a bad title, but you got the car back.
Yes.
And it was your car to begin with.
Yes, correct.
Who's telling you this?
I input it on Kelley Blue Books and other like Carvana and these other places, and they didn't want to offer me anything for it. They offered me literally like $1 for it because it said branded title vehicle, and because of that, they didn't want to give me an offer for it.
Branded title.
Yes.
So what about personal sale?
Personal sale? Yeah, that's what I've been trying to look into.
Do you hold the title on this car? Like who?
My mom's a co-signer with me, so it's under both of our names.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so are you wondering if you should sell the car, or you're wanting to sell it, obviously?
Yeah. Yes, but my question is, how do I go about it? Do I wait until I can get a vehicle cash, so I don't feel like it's without a vehicle, or just sell it and then work on getting getting that money to get the vehicle? Yeah,
because you'll have to take out a loan of the difference, which will be about $5,000.
Yeah.
So what you could do is just take out a loan for $10,000 and have $5,000 to buy a car. Because I would rather have a $10,000 loan than a $37,000 loan. And so if I were you, you could take out, but always my caution when you do that is it's like, oh, well, we could take out, $12,000. We could take out 13.
Right.
You could start going deeper and deeper in debt. And so being very disciplined in it. And again, you're going to be buying a car, a crappy car, right? That's going to get you through. But yeah, I would do that, Rudy. I think that's a really smart decision. And I know this whole thing's probably new, and you're like, oh my gosh, how do we go about it? But I think that's wise. Take out a small loan, get a car, and gosh, get that $37,000 away. I'd rather have 10 than 37. So great job, Rudy. Jade, great hour. Thanks to all the guys in the booth. And thank you, America, for listening. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I am Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with fellow Ramsey personality and great friend Jade Warshaw. And we are taking your calls, America. Free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. So give us a call. All right, up next, we have Alexandra on the line. Hey, Alexandra. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel and Jade. How are you?
We are doing great. How can we help?
Okay, so I'm in a bit of a situation here. So we purchased so we closed on our house on the 24th of August.
Congratulations.
And thank you. I don't know how we got it, but we went in with all we had, kind of desperate, just wanted to get out of a $2,100 rent. And then we're at a $1,400 mortgage now. First-time home buyers. We've been together since 6th grade. We're 37 years old. We have two kindergartners that just started. The twin boys started this year. So this is our situation. We closed. We moved. So we're, I think, about 2 hours north from his previous job. And I say previous because 2 weeks after we closed, he lost his job.
Oh, man.
So no fault of his own. Yeah, no fault of his own. It was just, a car that was given to him so that he can drive to work. He was doing that, obviously every day. And so now he didn't have a transportation to get there because I need the car to bring the kids to work, to school, because they just started school this year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's unemployed right now. This is my husband, but I'm so scared because, and I'm hoping that he can get into something very soon. We were able to we closed in August. Our first mortgage payment was on the 1st. We were able to make that, so we sent it out. That's done.
And it's $1,400, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so now we're having to pay again, on the 1st. We only have $1,600 in savings. The big thing is we're hoping he can get into this new job next week. So it's going to be a little bit of a pay cut. So it'll be at $62 a year. He was earning more, closer to $80 a year.
Okay.
But now we're out in the country, farm life. This is what we wanted. This is what we get. He's going to get paid less.
Sure.
So he's down at $62.
Can you pay all the bills with him at $62?
I think we can, because if we were already doing it then, and he was making more, but we were spending much more, and then now I'm like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So we can. I know we can.
Okay.
But this is the thing. Let me get to it quick. The RV. We have an RV that is $30K, a note of $30K on it, and the payment is $400 a month. I don't know what to do with it because we're just parked in our land here. And it's a 2017. We got it desperately in 2021 because we were needing to get out of an apartment that we were living in. And the house that we had, we were trying to get into at that time, the sale didn't go through, so that I won't have to release, another contract. We just went to a campground, and so we got the RV, and then we just kept house searching. We found the house, and then so here we still have it.
What can you sell it for?
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. I'm sure it's going to be less than what we owe.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you'll take a hit on it.
But you're just trying to stop the payments and stop the depreciation from taking
we don't have any late payments on it. We were able to make that last month, but this is the month right now coming up. This one in November is the one that's going to hit us. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
When will you know if your husband has the job?
He will find out Monday. And I think, and I want to go with a 90% they're going to take him on.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a pay cut,
So I want you, the first thing I want you doing is you've got a lot going on. And I can tell by the way you're telling the situation, it's like you're just like, in this, and you're just keeping going. And I want to kind of clear your head a little bit tonight. When you get off the phone, you guys sit down, run the numbers, open up every dollar budget. If you don't have it, Austin will get it to you. And I want you to run the numbers for your paycheck and his paycheck at the $62,000. All right. Then I want you to run the numbers just in case he doesn't get this job and go, what do we need coming in the house to make sure we're able to fill it? Because once you have those numbers in your head, Alexandra, you're going to feel so much better because at least you'll know what the real numbers are, what the anecdote is, and then you'll be able to make a game plan going forward. What I really want to hone in on, and I think Rachel will do a good job with this too, is I want you guys, there's a lot of desperate moves going on. Everything is, we got desperate and we had to do this. And then we got desperate and we had to do this. And we got desperate. And the chain here, the pattern that's happened is when you guys get desperate, you make bad choices. Yep. And I want that's got to stop today. So what that looks like is in the here and now, making a plan for the here and now. But not only that, but going forward, I want you guys to be on a plan with your money so you know what your goals are, you know what's coming down the pike, and you're in control and you're happening to your life instead of everything around you just happening to you guys and you're reacting and you're on the balls of your feet all the time. That's got to change. And I think that a plan for your money is going to help you. Have you ever heard of Financial Peace University?
No. Just recently, I started listening to you guys. To be honest, I grew up, I want to say, in the ghetto. To be honest, I never had money in my life. Both my mom and dad just worked just to take care of 5 of us. So, I just grew up, working and paycheck to paycheck. Rent all my life until we were finally able to get this, and it was through an FHA. That's why I say we got in lucky to get it. But here we are. We're so happy. We have a nice little house.
Sure. But also you're so happy, but you're also very stressed. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what we want you to see is, and Jade's exactly right, being proactive with your money versus reactive. And you just said it. And I think the way we grow up with money is a huge part of our story. And that's what was modeled for you. But now the beautiful thing is now you get to change that. So Alexandra, stay on the line. Austin's going to pick up and we're going to give you Every Dollar Premium, which is our budgeting app that will attach to your checking account. And you guys will be able to bring in transactions. You'll be able in real time to be budgeting your expenses, what Jade was saying. And we're going to give you Financial Peace University, which is our 9-lesson course. And you and your husband, you guys need to learn how this stuff works. And Alexandra, I'm going to warn you, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Yeah. You said you're new to all of this. And when you have to get to this point and you're there, I feel it in your voice. And why you called is you're not happy with your current situation. What you guys have done that led you up to this point. Yes, he lost his job unbeknownst to him. I get it. Stuff has happened. You are not happy with where you are, which means you have to change what you've been doing. And change is hard, Alexandra. It's hard. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to be doing some painful things that are going to feel uncomfortable because they're new, but they're the right things to be doing. We are the best in the business at getting people in control of their money. So listen to the plan. Follow the plan. Don't stray from it. And so looking at your numbers, getting facts on paper is going to give you some breathing room. You're probably going to be selling the RV. You guys may have to take a second job in order to float the bills for the next month, which is okay. Hopefully he gets his job and you guys are on track. But you guys got to get your crap together because you're going to end up in the same place again. But we believe you guys can do it. You can. You got to make the change.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So my question is, I have about I looked at it, I've got about $35,000 in credit card debt. I'm going through a divorce. And so at the beginning of the divorce, I had zero. Thank you. At the beginning of the divorce, I had, zero debt. We had $40,000 in savings, cars paid off, basically, doing everything that we should be doing, according to Dave Ramsey's teachings. And now I've got all this debt, but I only get $2,700 a month. And I've gotten to the point where the attorney fees keep coming and I can't keep up with it. And so I haven't made my payments on my 3 credit cards for 2 months. And my question is, do I just let it go because I need to be saving money for more attorney fees? Or do I try to find something, like I keep getting letters for debt consolidation. Do I try something like that? Or do I just let my credit score, continue to sink?
Yeah. Are you working, Amanda?
I don't. I'm a homeschool mom. And right now, I can't move and I can't change the kids' schooling. And so I tried picking up some side jobs, but then I ended up needing to be hospitalized for a short amount of time. And so I have those bills that I submitted for claims because since I'm still married, I still have medical insurance. And he's refusing to sign the necessary paperwork. So now I have the medical facilities calling me saying, hey, you owe us $40,000 because your claim was denied. So I'm just drowning. And knowing that once the divorce is over with, I probably won't even be able to rent something because my credit score is going to be so horrible. It started off as great, and now it's down to like in the low 600.
Okay. Well, the credit score for right now would not be my concern. The 40,000, the medical. I mean, if you're still legally married, I mean, I would have your lawyer on that. That feels off to me. The fact that he's not, accepting your claim because you technically still do have insurance. But Amanda, I want to know, just to look out for you. What are you planning on doing when this is all final? Because you will need health insurance, you will need a job and income coming in. Because I don't know if you can't live off $2,700 a month
with the kids, especially.
No, yeah. So my plan was to go back to school. I was going to school to be a court reporter, and so I was planning on finishing, doing that online while I just worked. I don't have any experience, so I'd have to do things like pet sitting and waiting tables. It's going to be a rough few years.
Yeah.
But without an education, I really can't take care of 4 kids, even with child support.
Yeah.
It's just.
I'm going to push you just a little bit on that one, because we do. I mean, the world has shifted to a degree that college degrees,
it doesn't matter nearly the way it used to.
The way it used to. So I even wonder, Amanda, for you, like finding a great, even a receptionist job at a dentist office, right? Like a dentist office, finding something that gives you the hours you need, gives you the benefits that you need, because you're going to want the whole package instead of piecing together all of these side hustles.
Yeah.
So I think you have more to offer than you think. And I understand it would be very intimidating going into the workforce where you don't have experience. Yeah, you said you've been, a mom, you've been homeschooling kids. But even the skill set that you had, that what you've just done can be very impressive to people that need help. And in Tyler, Texas, there's probably a lot of small businesses that need admin work and all that. So I would give yourself way more credit, Amanda. Not that waiting tables and dog sitting is bad.
It's not, but you can earn more money.
But you can do more, and you will want to do more and have more available when it comes to benefits and everything, just to take care of you and the kids. And so I would push you on that first and foremost, that when that comes, and I would be looking for something as soon as possible, because is the $35,000 in credit card debt, is that just living expenses that you've had to rack up because you don't have enough money to pay the bills?
No, it's actually mostly attorney fees and medical, because I've been covering all of the medical bills.
Okay.
for myself and our children. And so
is the 35, so you mentioned $35K in credit cards and $40,000 in medical. Is that kind of synonymous then if you've been paying it on the credit cards?
No, the $40,000 is just, it's new. It's as of last month. That came in addition to it. Yeah, and the other issue is that now I've kind of the divorce has been going on for a year.
Yeah.
And so it could be going on even longer.
Yeah. Okay. So, Amanda, keeping up with those attorney's fees, it may cause some of that debt to continue to increase. But I think looking for a job and supplemental income is going to be your next bet, just to get you on solid foundation and taking care of yourself too, Amanda. I hate we have a hard clock out here in a second, but hang on the line. Austin's going to pick up, and I'm going to give you John's new book, Building a Non-Anxious Life, because taking care of you, Amanda, overall is going to be really important in this season. Thanks for calling. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. We are taking your calls, America, at 888-825-5225. Up next, we have Tracy in Phoenix. Hey, Tracy, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in. How can we help?
Yeah, this really is going to take a lot of stress off of me. So I have a situation where I just moved from Georgia, and I have a home there that's paid off. It's probably worth, we haven't appraised it yet, but it's probably worth between $280,000 and $300,000.
Okay.
I moved to Phoenix, and I live in an apartment, and I'm currently, just trying to get my credit score up, and I'm actually working with the lender so I can purchase a home here. Now, I have the down payment, the 20% to buy a home here, and me selling my house in Georgia has nothing to do with me purchasing here.
Oh, wow.
And so my question is, should I sell the home in Georgia and use some of that money to make the payment lower and to bring it, the house down in Phoenix a little bit lower, and then possibly buy a second home here as a rental and put the other half maybe on that home? Or should I leave that house in Georgia as a rental property?
Sell it.
Yes. Sell it.
I would say
unanimous.
Yep, unanimous. Sell it, and I would put everything of that home, Tracy, that $300 to the home in Phoenix. I would not look at a second property until that house is completely paid off. Do you have other debt?
I do. That's the thing. I just recently paid off a lot of credit cards, but I do have about $158,000 in student loans.
Ooh.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Okay.
I feel like you're jumping the gun a little bit.
Yeah, we may have a different plan for you, Tracy.
We have no other debt. It's me and my husband combined. We make about $195K.
That's great.
Good for you guys.
Can I tell you my plan? Can I tell you the Jade plan? This is what I would do. I would sell no matter what you do, you're selling the home in Georgia. We got to get rid of it. You don't live there anymore. And so it's just going to be.
Can I ask one number question to help your argument? Hey, how much is the 20% down? How much cash do you have saved in the 20%? Because we're going to add that to all this.
The 20%. I have about 25, which actually is really not the 20%. It's the 5%.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. How much is it? 25,000?
Yeah, it's about 25, but I could access it through my husband's 401k.
No. We don't do that. How much cash, Tracy, do you have saved? 25,000?
25, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
and now I do have another question. So you've got 25,000 saved. Is that the only non-retirement money you have lying around, or do you have other non-retirement savings?
I have no other non-retirement money.
Okay. This is what Jade would do. I would, if Jade and Sam woke up in your shoes tomorrow, I'd be like, okay, Sam, I think we should sell the house in Georgia, pocket, take home $280,000. And then with that money, I would knock out the student loans. And then I would put the rest with the $25,000 that you have saved towards a down payment. Now, my next question is that I want to do that, but now let me go back because you need savings. You need 3 to 6 months of savings before you buy a house.
Yeah, she'll end up with about $155,000.
Yeah.
$155,000. So I would put some in savings.
3 to 6 months of expenses.
And how much would that be if you were to rough that out, Tracy?
Monthly expenses?
Yeah.
Like basic budgeting expenses.
Let's just say $4,000 with the kids' tuition.
Per month?
Yeah.
Okay. So around $25,000 for 6 months.
Okay, so we got $143,000 to put towards a house.
And look at that. And you're
you're
debt-free with savings.
Wow.
Look at that. Come on, Tracy. Are you doing a happy dance? That's great.
I am doing the happy dance. See, some people are saying you should never sell a house that's paid off, number one.
No, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and then some people
If it was your
tell me,
primary home, Tracy, if that was your primary home and you're still living in Georgia,
That's different.
That's one thing. But you're being a long-distance landlord. You have an asset, which is amazing, but you also have liability, which is your debt. And so you're able to clean all that up, still get a great house in Phoenix with an emergency fund in place. Like, you're going to be good to go. And you're going to have a lot more peace than trying to finagle all of this stuff. So you're starting on really, really solid ground, Tracy. I mean, like, it's amazing. What kind of the houses that you're looking at in Phoenix, considering you have $143,000 left to how much are the houses you're looking at?
Like 538.
Good. High 30s?
No, 538.
Oh, 538. Okay.
And so when you do go to buy a home, let's go over these parameters because we want to make sure that it works out for you. The way we would teach and the way that, I've always bought my homes is 15-year fixed mortgage where the payment's no more than 25% of your take-home pay. That's what we're looking for. So if you can do that with the down payment, which you shouldn't have any trouble, but that's what you're shooting for. But the 15-year fixed rate is really that's the one where people are like, can't I just do the 30? It's like the goal here is to pay things off and to get that ultimate freedom of debt freedom. So that's why we'd say 15-year fixed, and you might get a better interest rate as well by going that route. But is that what you're planning to do?
Yeah, the interest rates right now are like 8%. Aren't they high? I don't know if I...
Yes,
they're higher. Yeah, most definitely.
For sure. But the 15-year, you'll get a better rate. That's what Jade is saying versus the 30. So,
okay.
Yeah, so Tracy, I mean, that's exactly the road we would take, and it just sets you up and you guys make great money. You'll have about $350 left on the mortgage to be paying off, but you're making $200. So you guys have this house paid off. On average, we find people pay off their house in 7 to 10 years. And it's amazing. And you guys are going to be just trucking along with no debt, and just, it's going to be amazing. So
love it.
Glad you called in, Tracy. Glad you called in. All right. We got Peyton up next in Lexington, Kentucky. Hey, Peyton, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Jade. How are you?
We're doing great. How can we help?
So I'm on baby step 2. I have paid off $30,000.
Yay! Nice.
Car left.
I'm sorry, you have a what? $1,000 car left?
$30,000.
Perfect. $30,000. We were cheering, Peyton. Sorry, we missed the number.
No, thank you. I have an $8,000 settlement coming in within the next 4 to 6 weeks, and that will put me right side up on the car because it's worth about $23,000.
Okay.
And I was wondering, I could pay it off by May, or I could sell it and be debt-free as soon as I get the settlement. What would your decision be? Because I know Dave always says if you can pay it off within 2 years and you love the car, you can keep it, fight for it.
Yeah. How much do you make a year?
$108,000.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would keep it. You're fine. I think the numbers are fine.
Yeah.
I think you could pay it off even sooner, honestly, Peyton.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have the $8,000 in cash to dump at it. That's great. Because, that's what I do.
Okay. I don't know if it changed anything. I have a old beater Jeep that is worth maybe $1,000, but it'd take me $3,000 to $4,000 to get it daily drivable. Would you still just keep the car and just pay it off by May or sooner?
I think that part's up to you at that point. Honestly, I think that's totally up to you. It depends. Like, obviously, I'm guessing the Jeep is not in as good a shape as a $30,000 car. but it really just depends on the picture of your life that you want going forward. Okay. Either way is fine.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, you're going to get it paid off. The numbers aren't so lopsided that we're like, oh my gosh, get this car out of here, Peyton. Because you're able to pay it off within 6 months, which is amazing. But if you're not attached to the car, and if Peyton, we get a lot of people on this show, and they're like, get me out as soon as possible. Yeah. I'll throw $2,000 at this Jeep, get it fixed up, and I'm great driving it around, and I'm happy, and it's awesome. If that's what you want to do that and be out of debt.
Yeah.
In 4 weeks after you fix the Jeep, you can do that. But also that this car payment or this car loan, it's not absolutely going to kill you. You make great money. You're going to be able to pay it off, and you'll be completely debt free after that, which is just well on your way. So yeah, I'm with Jade. That one's in your court, Peyton. But thanks for the call. Appreciate it. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day comes from Ecclesiastes 7:12. The protection of wisdom is like the protection of money, and the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom preserves the life of him who has it. It's kind of a tongue twister. That's there, deep. Jade. Yeah,
that's deep.
I'm going to
have to marinate on that one.
And Frank said, people can tell you to keep your mouth shut, but that doesn't stop you from having your own opinion.
Okay.
I like that. That's
like that.
Great. So good. All right. Up next, we have Paige in North Dakota. Hey, Paige. Welcome to the show.
Hello. My question is, or I guess my husband doesn't want to try and budget. Every time I bring it up, it's this big fight about who spends most money on the most worthless things. And I don't know how to handle that.
It's beyond that. It's the tit for tat game. You did this.
Yeah.
Well, I did that.
Man.
Well, you do this.
So how are when these conversations come up, let's kind of retro back a little bit. When these conversations have come up, have they come up in the heat of the moment, or has it been like, hey, honey, or hey, boo, whatever you call your spouse, I want to sit down and talk. Here's what I'd like to talk about. Is it that sort of thing? Or is it just like this is happening out of the heat of a moment of somebody opening up a bill for something?
I wouldn't say it's normally like the heat of the moment, but it's always like when we go paycheck to paycheck week after week, you always scraping the barrel. And then I'm like, hey, can we try this? And then he gets super mad about it. And then it's just paycheck to paycheck. It's the same thing.
You just want to break that cycle.
Yeah.
Part of it, I think part of it's how you approach it. I think that if instead of attacking the conversation as we need to stop doing this, we're just living paycheck to paycheck, that we've got to start getting on a budget. I think if you kind of approach it in the way of, I'm really worried and I'm really scared, and I've just been noticing like my anxiety is going nuts. And I think it's because we're overspending. I think it's because we are not on the same page, and I'd really like to be on the same page. What does that look like to you? Like, I'd kind of throw the ball in their court of like, what do you think that looks like? And that way it's not you saying, not necessarily coming in saying, this is what we need to be doing, but just opening up that conversation. Have you tried that?
I have tried that, and I've suggested a few different things like, hey, we put both our paychecks into the joint account for bills and such. You can put X amount, I'll use like $300 for an example, into your own personal account to spend it on what you want, gas station, whatever. And then once you go past that, you can't dip into
Yeah.
Okay, so Paige, already, can I say this? Already, it's becoming a Paige is telling, what's your husband's name? Or if you don't want to say, well,
Bob.
We'll call him Bob.
Right. Okay.
It's already you almost in a maternal role of, okay, we're going to put your money here and you can't do this and this. It is still this hierarchy of you being the kind of a authority in a sense. And so the goal would be, just to paint you a picture, is that you are both a team. You both are equal in this. He has as much say in this as you do. You have as much say as he does. And it's you guys together saying, oh yeah, this and this and this and this, versus one telling one what to do, if that makes sense. And so,
that makes sense.
Yeah. And I would say this too, with an asterisk, there's naturally always going to be more of the nerd, and there's naturally always going to be the free spirit. Right. So like, Winston forever will love Excel and love the budget and love painting out what investments of this more than me, which is funny because this is my job and this is like what I do every day. But he actually is more of the numbers and thrives on that and more of the saver than I am. So he won't change who I am, but the way we approach our money together can still be as a team. So always know that. You still will have your own personalities. He may never just love the budget like Paige does, and that's okay. But as long as you're both in it together, that's going to be the goal. So I would want to know, do you know his hesitation, what it is that he kind of pushes back against, and why he pushes back against it?
I think he likes to kind of be in control a little bit. I know he's always brought up the fact that before we even got together, I had no problem, with my money. But
so he's trying to kind of make it you're the blame. Kids are the blame.
But like our lives have changed since we met.
Sure.
We live in a different place, and things are more expensive, and two kids to do through daycare, and
So I would ask him then back, just to keep the conversation going, because I think Jade's point's really good. It's like, I want to hear from him. And so like, okay, so you're saying that before all of this, you were, you didn't have money problems, which to a degree, because you didn't have all these expenses, right? That's what we're all thinking. But also, what did you have in place that worked really well? Because he may have his own way of doing stuff that, you don't see, that maybe you actually could implement. And so I think, again, it's going back to this, like, it's this team mentality, which I know is so easier said than done, Paige, because we're about to get off the air here in 5 minutes and go home. And I know you're the one that's having to have these conversations. But as much as you guys can sit down and say, gosh, I feel like this is pinning us against each other. And we can't be against each other. Like, we are in this together and we both want to win. Like no one wants to choose to have a stressful, anxious life and marriage. And so,
and no one's trying to say whose fault it is. Like, if you and Bob can both agree, the problem is
it's us.
Like, we're paycheck to paycheck. Both of us don't like that. Both of us would love to get to a point where we've got savings and, we're out of debt. Like, if you guys can surround that and like lock arms around that, and that's where you're going to move forward.
Yeah. And sometimes, Paige, especially with guys, it's kind of a stereotype, so it may not be true for him. But I have found, like, when you can put numbers and actual facts instead of just ideas and theories of cutting back and all this, when you actually see numbers down, sometimes it helps because you can actually blame the numbers instead of blaming each other. And so I would just say, hey, one night, like after dinner, can we please, and just ask them, will you just give me an hour? And I want to pull out the bills and I just want to look and like, what if I just want to, and help me do it, right? Bring him in. That Paige isn't bringing everything and Paige isn't telling what the numbers are. Together, we're having a conversation. So will you just sit down, because I want to know, like, okay, what are you spending on gas? And you guys just make this puzzle and lay out the numbers and kind of just do a mock budget together. Again, I don't want it to be conflict filled or tension filled. This is just bringing numbers to the table, and let that be a starting point, because I think sometimes in our heads, things can be magnified. In our heads, things can be isolating. There's so much that if we just keep up in our head and in our mind, it just can go sideways. And when things are down and you're looking at actual facts and looking at actual numbers, sometimes, not always, but sometimes that kind of like diffuses the tension, because you see that. And then from there, look at the tactical. And then also, if it's going well that night, or maybe it's another night, dream and just say, hey, what would it look like in 5 years? What does our life look like? How old are our kids? What grade are they going to be in? Where do we want to be? Like, just start to like have this vision of where you guys want to be as a family. And there's something about being proactive in that is so inspiring than just living life paycheck to paycheck, month to month. And you look up and it's been 5 years and you don't know where, you don't know where you're going. And so having that, I think, is really key too, Paige. But just know you're not alone in this. This is one of the biggest problems we hear from people is that one spouse is on board and wants to do this and another isn't. So you're not alone in it. And also we've heard so many couples on our debt-free stage say, gosh, I wasn't on board. I thought y'all were crazy. And then finally I got on board and together we did this. So even couples who win start out where you guys are. So have hope, Paige, that this can change. It really can. But I think it's really the way you approach it. Don't be the mom.
Definitely don't be the mom.
Have a humble spirit about it. But bring, this conversation. It's a conversation to be had. It's not pointing fingers and blame. Even this picture of put the numbers out in front of you and like lock arms and like, it's us against you numbers. Like, you know what I mean? It's not us against each other. So
it's good.
It's powerful, Paige. It's a big part of winning is you and your spouse. And just for the sake of your marriage, not just your money, for the sake of your marriage, I pray that that this brings you guys together. So thanks for the call. Jade, thanks for a great show today.
It was good.
Always fun, always fun. Thanks to the guys in the booth to make it happen. Thanks to the audience that came out today to Nashville to watch the show live. We appreciate you guys, and we appreciate you, America, for listening. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.